Hello everyone, welcome to Freedom Fighter 2127. Beware of the wolves in sheepskin, the snakes that run our churches exposed. The truth about Jack Hyles and the pastor army. I did not actually write this report. A friend of mine sent it to me and wanted me to post it for him, and I did. And because I believe in this. Beware of the wolves in sheepskin. We are warned how many times throughout the Bible to beware of these wolves. There are 55 individual eyewitness testimonies to confirm the following allegations below. Most of the witnesses were members of FBCH and or HACH graduates or former students. First Baptist, which is something we should be talking about. The churches that we go to, we need to be wary of our pastors. 2 of them were close family members of Jack Hyles, a daughter and a daughter-in-law. One of them was a close friend of Jack Hyles and Jack Schaap. One was the daughter of Jack Hyles' alleged mistress. And 5 of these witnesses include video evidence. Based on all of these 55 witnesses, there are 13 serious accusations against Jack Hyles and FBCH, as well as Jack Schaap, and based on the evidence, prove that he was a false prophet and a cult leader that no IFB church should support or be associated with, and he should even be exposed and rebuked from every IFB church pulpit, in order to biblically warn every congregation about this wolf in sheep's clothing. There are 13 serious accusations that I individually explore in much detail later on. I want to state something here. Jack Hyles is dead. Why are we exposing him now? It's not him that we're worried about right now. It's who he taught. It's who he created. What he created. A massive countrywide pastor army that have all been influenced by the demonically possessed Jack Hyles, the cult leader. This article, let me show you. Get that out of there. Is extremely well documented. And I ask every single one of you who see this video, who, if you attend church, if you attend a church, any kind of church, that you print this off and take it to him. I really do, because this is the kind of stuff. Let me say this first. These witnesses that were to Jack Hyles and his minions, well, they were stalked, harassed. They were a part of an intimidation campaign that Jack Hyles and his associates put on to scare them into not testifying against Jack Hyles. Testifying, I mean, before God, before government, whatever kind of situation they were in. This guy should have been behind bars. However, he's represented in churches. We wonder what's wrong with our churches. Jack Hyles was a very prideful man who elevated himself constantly before his followers. His followers idolized and worshipped him. Jack Hyles believed and preached that if someone is accused of sin, you don't listen to it, you don't believe it, and you don't talk about it. Wow. Jack Hyles covered up the gross immorality, adulteries, and perversions of his son Dave Hyles for years. He lied for him and placed him in leadership and pastoral positions at his and other churches, even when he knew of his son's wickedness. Jack Hyles covered up immoral sins in his own church and the sins of many pastors in IFB churches, and put pastors who had committed adultery back in the pulpit. Jack Hyles taught that children were to be severely punished if they were disobedient. As a result of his influence, many children have been severely abused by their parents, and wives have been abused by their husbands as well. IFB churches, at least 63 of them around the country, have had indicted child molesters, child abusers, and sexual predators in their pulpits, and in church leadership and staff positions. Many of them are connected to Hyles. Many of these churches are covering up these sins of these perverts. Based on all the eyewitness testimony, Jack Hyles had an affair with his secretary, Janine Nishik, which lasted for at least a couple decades. Jack Hyles was a hypocrite and a habitual liar. He acted completely contrary to what he preached. Jack Hyles' philosophy on how families should put ministry first before caring for their spouse and children eventually destroyed many families. Jack Hyles mentioned of soul winning with his view of repentance and quick prayerism was fraudulent and damaging to the cause of Christ. Jack Hyles taught many false doctrines, many which belittled sin. Many eyewitnesses and former loyal followers believe that FBCH/HAC is a cult and that Jack Hyles was a cult leader. Jack Schaap continued the corrupt legacy of Jack Hyles. He sexualized his sermons and biblical illustrations, preached false doctrine, and seduced a 16-year-old girl by using his spiritual authority to prey on her blind loyalty. You might be thinking, even if these allegations are true, which I believe are not true, why would this matter anyway? Jack Hyles has been dead since 2001. Jack Schaap is in prison. FBCH is under new leadership. Why are you trying to kick these men down when Hyles is dead and Schaap is paying for his crime? The reason is simple. Thousands of pastors and leadership around the country have been trained by Hyles, as well as Schaap. Pastor John Wilkerson was not trained, has not trained the vast majority of pastors, leaders, and HAC graduates. It is primarily Hyles that has influenced many of them, and they have spread around the country in multitudes of IFB churches. Many IFB churches have even modeled their church after FBCH. Even if Wilkerson is a good guy, and I'm not accusing him of wrongdoing, the damage that Hyles and Schaap have done and continue to do through their past influence is immense and is simply not gone away. Even with the change in FBCH leadership, as I will explore in detail, there have been a multitude of lies, cover-ups, false teachings, idolatry, fraudulent soul-winning, hypocrisy, etc. The many elders, deacons, staff members, and members are refusing to acknowledge at FBCH they are part of the cover-ups because the leadership, elders, and deacons and staff in particular have heard accusation after accusation over the years and did nothing about it. They didn't investigate it. They did not question Hyles, but have remained blindly loyal to him, even after his death. I hope that you read this article, because many of us are not aware of the wolves in sheepskin that walk around preying on people who are just trying to seek the truth, which is Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Don't let this article turn you away from Christ, because I assure you, Jack Hyles and his pastor army were not working for Christ. That's all I've got for this. I hope you guys enjoyed this short presentation about this article, about the truth, and I hope that you guys please share it. God bless, be safe, and stay tuned. I'll leave the link.